illustration of how this relates to the reduction potential. Okay, here's the model of the ATP synthase, and it's a complex enzyme. The part where what they're showing here is outside of the cell and inside of the cell up here. Notice they're showing the hydrogen ions passing through a particular part of this enzyme complex. And as those hydrogen ions pass through, they generate some torque, allowing for kind of almost, they compare this ATP synthase and its functioning somewhat to how the bacterial flagellum works. So there's a rotation. All right, so what's our balance sheet? I think we're going to look at our own little diagram here. If the cell is respiring aerobically, passing those electrons ultimately to oxygen, then it'll get 3 ATPs for each of those, so there'll be 6. It'll get 3 for each of those, so there'll be 6. It's got 2. And then it's going to get CO2s, we got some here, and we got some here. So our ATPs, 6 and 2 is 8, 14, 24, 28, 32, 34, 38. Which is the same thing they actually show on the diagram. But they just have it kind of arranged a little bit differently. But it's kind of nice to be able to kind of walk through this and keep track of everything and, you know, show that it adds up. Kind of, I think, maybe reinforces it if you walk through it yourself and see what comes from where, rather than just kind of looking at this and trying to match it back up. If you keep track of it yourself as you go through the aerobic respiration, then I think it can be helpful to understand. So which of these came from substrate level phosphorylation? Which ones? What about these? Did these come from substrate level? Okay, yes. Did these? No, because these NADHs would donate, if the cell is respiring aerobically, would donate their electrons to electron transfer chain. What about these? Substrate level or electron transport?
Electron transport.
Okay. Any more substrate level? These guys here. And I think those ended up being these. So these guys came from substrate level. The rest of them all came from electron transport phosphorylation. Now, and that's kind of sometimes the visuals, when they change things from one edition to the next, I don't always like the changes they make. To me, that's less bold than this. To me, that projects better for somebody sitting in the back of the room. So I sometimes leave the old visual in my PowerPoint so people can looking at the same thing, or maybe have something bigger to look at, or it's easier to read when you print it out. If you're going to put 2 slides